This is the 2025 Mazda CX-70. Is it the ultimate midsize two-row SUV? Hey everybody, it's Tom from Vehicle Visionary. I hope you're having a great day. Today we're at Family Mazda in Bossier City, Louisiana, and we're going to go over the particulars on this CX-70 and tell you all about it. If you want to know more, check out the link down in the description of the video to the Family Mazda website. And you can't mistake what you're looking at. You know it's a Mazda, even if we took away that Mazda logo right there, because of the way the front end is designed. Very classic for the brand. Large upper grille. We'll also have our lower grille down there. All of that is going to be functional. And while these areas right here are not necessarily fully functional, you do have the active air curtain right here that's going to be on each side of the front end, allowing air to pass through, helps out with the aerodynamics. And the design of the headlights and the daytime running lights, something that is different. For those of you who want things that are different, that's good. That flickering effect you see, number one, it's not really happening, but an advantage to that is it tells you what's LED. That's why that's happening. A lot of the cameras we use here on YouTube do that. And something else I like to tell you about. Notice what those mirrors are doing. I know a lot of you like to see those power folding side view mirrors. We're also going to have our 21-inch wheels, and something that a lot of automakers are going away from, it seems, these days. They're going to a 4-cylinder engine, but you can see right here, inline 6-cylinder. It's a 3.3 liter. I'll give you more details on that shortly. But let's get back here to our side view mirrors. I'm going to lock the vehicle so you can see. Number one, you saw that you have power folding side view mirrors. You also have the turn signal indicators built in. They're heated, they're power adjustable, and I don't know how well you can see it, but there is your blind spot monitoring. The exterior color on this model is called Polymetal Gray Metallic. We'll find a tan Napa leather interior that is extremely comfortable. If you run your hand across here or just sit here, you're going to know for yourself. I can only tell you about that in the video. I can't really do anything more than that, but we also have the roof rails up top with a shark fin antenna. You've got your rear window spoiler that allows air to be channeled over the rear window when the vehicle's in motion. And when you need it, there is your rear window wiper. And let me lock the vehicle and then we'll unlock the vehicle so you can see the tail lights back here. Our CX-70 logo. And you know this model is all-wheel drive. And I know we're getting to a point where a lot of you don't have to deal with it anymore, but if you deal with a lot of snow more times out of the year than not, this is a great vehicle to have. And here are the details on the 3.3 liter turbocharged straight six, 340 horsepower and 369 pounds-feet of torque. All of that's mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission. How about our MPGs? Let's take a look at what the window sticker gives us. 23 city, 28 highway, 25 combined, and 4 gallons of gas per every 100 miles driven. Right here is going to be our gas door. We can open that up. You don't have capless fuel fill. I know a lot of you tell me you'd rather have the gas cap than capless fuel fill. When you fill up, it's a 19.6 gallon gas tank. You can tow up to 5,000 pounds, and there are a multitude of ways to open the power tailgate, including the hands-free feature, as you can see right there. Cargo capacity ranges between 39.6 to 75.3 cubic feet, and you can lower the seats with these two buttons right here. So all you have to do is hold the button down, and both seats will lower. Now, you will have to manually put those back in place, but it's nice to have that feature. There's cargo lighting right here. Do a nice job of lighting everything up back here. A little bit of space behind the fender well right there. And a couple of options for connectivity. You have a power outlet right here, a 12-volt power outlet. And then we also have the 120-volt power outlet as well. So a couple of things right there. And I'm going to show you how this looks with the shade open, but you do have a panoramic sunroof. When it gets too warm in the interior or whatever the situation is, there is the shade to conceal away the panoramic sunroof. And you'll find a privacy shade on each door. The shade on the passenger side is already up right there. And plenty of room at the armrest. That's nice and comfortable. There's a lot of padding right there. That's actually really nice to have. We're gonna have our contrast stitching and the door bin that can function in a few different ways, just for storage or for a couple of bottles that can sit right there. Now, a common question, do the seats recline? Yes, they do. These are back pretty far. We can also move that seat up to a more upright position. And you'll also notice that the seats can move back and forth. There is a lever right down here that can be used for that in the situation that maybe you need just a little bit of extra cargo space, but you don't need to lay these flat. You've got people sitting back here. That's going to be very useful. And as I mentioned earlier in the video, there's your panoramic sunroof. The shade is open. That front portion will tilt and slide open if you need to do that. That makes things nice and convenient. Let's get rid of some of that noise out there. Rear seat pockets that are very deep, so a little bit of extra storage. And you'll also find the command center right here for the rear air conditioning. So we're going to have 3 zones of climate control, 2 in the front, 1 in the rear, dual air conditioning vents. Here are all the controls for your air conditioning. Heated seats, the outboard seats for the passengers. You can adjust fan speed, whatever you need to do back here, and a couple of USB options. So the things that I know a lot of you are looking for are definitely here. We also have the fold-down armrest with the cup holders built in. And for those of you who are patient and made it to this point in the video without asking what the sticker price is, down in the comments section, it's $58,480. Let's see what else you get for that price. The passenger seat is going to be power adjustable, as is the driver's seat. The driver's seat will also have lumbar support. They're both heated and ventilated. We'll find nice large armrests and door bins, just like we did with the rear doors. And your glove box is right here. Plenty of room within that area for storage. Over here on the driver's side door, quite a few things to talk about, but nothing out of the ordinary. You can lock and unlock the windows, roll those windows down and up. And you also have your lock and unlock right here. Everything for controlling the position of your side view mirrors is here. And when you push this button, that is another way that you can fold those power folding side view mirrors in. By the way, when you go into reverse, you can have the mirrors set to where they automatically tilt down. In fact, I'll just go ahead and do that now and show you. See how they tilt down like that? Make it a little bit easier to see behind you, but that's not the only thing. You'll also be able to see that on your center screen as well. 12.3-inch screens here, 2 of them. One for the driver's display and one for the center screen that we just looked at. You will also find that we have a drive mode selector right here. It says My Drive, as you can see. And we have 3 different driving modes. You're going to have normal, off-road, and then sport mode. I really like the way that red is there. My favorite color, and I like the red that comes up with the instrument, the instrument cluster, the driver's display. That looks really nice. Now we also are going to have our shifter paddles right here. If you want to use that, you can. And we'll also have the control over here for the front and rear window wipers and everything right here for your headlights and tail lights, obviously. Also your turn signal indicators. Now, if your turn signal indicators aren't working, just look next to the windshield washer reservoir. There's a turn signal fluid reservoir there as well. Yes, it's okay to laugh. And if you're not laughing, you probably don't use your turn signals. Everything up here for your cruise control, and I think you know what else is here as well. Pretty easy to figure that out. There's our button start and stop the engine and our 12.3-inch screen. Now, one thing that's a little different here, if you're not familiar with the Mazda brand, is that this is how you control everything. Unless you're using Apple CarPlay, you can use that to work your way around. It's not difficult. Some people would rather be able to use the touchscreen, but if you use Apple CarPlay, I know for sure that works that way. But you can scroll around with the wheel. When you need to select something, you push down on that. This is what's going to come up, depending on the screen that you want to see. You also have something that I know a lot of you ask about, built-in navigation. Now, if that's not what you want to use, again, pair your smartphone and you can use your favorite app where that is concerned. And I'm going to go back over here and go into reverse. There is our backup camera. You also have the overhead 360-degree view. That's very nice to have, but that's not the only view that we have. I didn't talk about this earlier in the video, but if we go right down here, see that button right there with the camera on it? You probably know what that's going to mean. There is our front view camera. And we're going to also have that overhead view. It just makes things so simple to use. I like that, or simple to see, I should say. I really like the way that works. Very simplistic. The shifter is nice because it fits so snugly in the palm of my hand. There's a button on the front. Let's see if I can show you that right there. So you're going to push on that button that allows you to move the shifter over into reverse or neutral or drive. But like I say, it has to be moved over to the right to do that. You'd figure that out even if I didn't tell you, wouldn't you? There's the cover for your cup holders if you want to take advantage of that, or just leave those open so you can put cups, bottles in there. Wireless charging right here, and a 12-volt power outlet. Now, a little bit of a different setup here for the doors. They are basically Bombay doors, but they open individually of one another, as you can see. I like that. That works out well. And if you're wondering, what about USB connectivity? There it is, and there is some space in here, so a little bit more where that is concerned. There is your upper console. This is the control for the power shade and for opening and closing the front portion. As I said, that front portion of the sunroof will tilt and slide open. And I'm glad to see that there's a sunglass holder here. Not all vehicles have that these days, but the CX-70 most certainly does. And before we take our test drive, let me make sure to talk about the dual zone climate control up here. You have everything for your temperature control right there. You can control the fan speed. And like I said earlier, you have heated seats. There's 3 stages. Also ventilated seats, 3 stages for the driver and the passenger sides, as you can see right there. And a heated steering wheel. And one more thing about the steering wheel. It's also tilt and telescopically adjustable. It is power adjustable via this control. Okay, here we go on our test drive. And the first thing I have to say, there's not a lot of vehicles on the road that balance good handling along with a comfortable ride quality. You usually have one or the other, but typically you don't have both. Mazda has done a very nice job here as far as that is concerned in balancing good handling with comfort. Very nice interior is going to help out with that as well, your comfortable seats. And something else that I know a lot of people like to know about has to do with how tall of a person can fit in the driver's seat and be comfortable. Well, it doesn't really matter what your height is, whether you're tall or maybe not so tall. If you're around 5 feet tall, or if you're well in excess of 6 feet tall, you can adjust everything here to be very comfortable. I'm 5'10". I have a ridiculous amount of space above my head. No problem at all fitting here. So it really doesn't matter what your height is. You can be very comfortable here and have no problem setting things up to your liking. Seeing is also easy, but don't forget, you have blind spot monitoring that helps out. But when you need to look around and see what's going on behind you or around you, that is also not going to be a problem. And as I expected, these seats are very, very comfortable when out on a drive. So I have no doubt that you can actually drive for several hours in the CX-70. It's not going to wear you out. You're going to be nice and comfortable. The steering wheel itself is comfortable. I don't feel cramped at all. Tons of room here. Everything is easy to get to. Now the screen obviously is a little bit further away, but as I mentioned earlier in the video, you don't have to use that as a touch screen when you're using Apple CarPlay. And obviously it does work that way, but you have all of your controls right down here if you need that. And speaking of that, one thing I forgot to mention earlier in the video, I'm looking right at it, so I'm thinking about it. You also have a very nice head-up display here. You can put a lot of great information on there as far as your traffic sign recognition and all of those sorts of things. It's nice and bright. It is adjustable. And there actually is a setting in your infotainment screen going back to using Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. If you're having trouble with the touch screen working when you're using Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, there's a setting that you need to go in and make sure it's turned on. The thing about this technology is that it's very easy to learn and very easy to use. You can use what I like to call the hunt and peck method if you need that to find your way around. Now I'm going to slow down just a little bit here and just accelerate a little bit. Not too bad. Let's see how we can do here. I'm hardly into the pedal. Good thing I was not too hard into it with this Chevrolet Colorado pulling out in front of us right there. But I can tell you right now, if you're wondering about acceleration, this isn't meant to necessarily be neck-snapping performance, but I'll tell you what, for a two-row midsize SUV, you definitely have a lot of power when compared to some of the competitors out there. That's going to be one of the big advantages here of this Mazda. For those of you that made it to this point in the video, here's a little bonus material for you. First of all, the head-up display. I don't know how well you can see that, but there it is. And I'm going to go here into the screen and show you how to set up the touchscreen settings if it's not working. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go down here. You can see I've come into settings. We're going into connectivity settings and then Bluetooth and iPhone connectivity settings. And all you have to do is scroll down to this second option right here, touchscreen in motion, and make sure that's checked. And then we just hit OK right there, and you're good to go. And there it is, the 2025 Mazda CX-70. Is it the ultimate mid-size two-row SUV? Tell me what you think down in the comments section. I'd like to say a special thanks to my friends at Family Mazda for loaning me the CX-70 for the day so I could tell you all about it, and a special thanks to all of you for being kind enough to give me the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit the like button. That helps me out a lot. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any future videos. Please be sure to share this video on your timelines on social media. And if you would like to learn about additional vehicles you may wish to consider purchasing, check out the video that's on the screen right now, and I will see you there.